You are listening to Policybazaar.ae's The Policy Project. We've got you covered.
Hello and welcome to the Policy Project. My name is Sid, your host here on the podcast to guide you through all things finance and insurance. Today, we're discussing a topic that's both empowering and at times a bit misunderstood: credit cards. Now, imagine having a financial tool that offers convenience, rewards, and flexibility. Yet, despite all of these benefits, credit cards often get a bad reputation with myths and misconceptions, casting them as financial traps. Now, in today's episode, we're separating fact from fiction and showing you how, with the right knowledge, credit cards can be a valuable asset for managing your personal finances. And to help us unravel the truth behind all these myths and share practical insights, we have an expert with us right here, right now. Please welcome Mr. Sachin Desai. He's the business head banking at Policybazaar.ae. Welcome, Sachin. Swagat hai aapka on the Policy Project.
Good morning, Sid. It's a pleasure to be on your show again.
So, are we ready? You know the drill. You've been on this before way too many times. So, let's just dive right in. Ready?
Yep, please go ahead.
Fantastic, Eddie. So, like always, we start off with the most basic question. Okay. So, what do you have to say about Sachin, the myths surrounding credit cards and how they lead to the debt traps? And do you agree or do you feel that if used wisely, they may actually improve one's financial health?
Uh, a very common question, Sid, that people always believe that credit cards are debt traps because they only look at the negative stories that come across. But actually, in the true sense, if credit cards can be really powerful financial tools when you use them wisely. Timely payments, responsible credit utilization, and if one avoids excessive debt, it can contribute to a healthy credit score, which is an indicator of financial health. Now, being disciplined in managing credit ensures long-term financial stability and even access to better credit opportunities in the future. Okay.
Right.
So it all depends on how you choose the right credit card from various options. You have cards related to travel, cashback, lifestyle, free for life, and even low rate cards. And they can be rewarding in many ways.
Mm.
Now, many credit cards offer reward programs, cash incentives, and benefits such as travel insurance and purchase protection on your spends, which most of the consumers are not aware of. So, one can maximize the value of a credit card by understanding these perks, and at the same time, a word of caution: do not overspend solely for these rewards, as that can really put you into a debt trap. So, it's all about using it wisely.
Very interesting. I know my dad, he's always against credit cards. Tumko credit card nahi use karna hai. He is the one person who should be listening to the episode today. So, going forward, okay, what are some nice strategies for managing credit card debt effectively and avoiding wo jo common pitfalls hote hain usko?
Yeah. So, see, you don't really require a strategy. It can be some really basic tenets that you follow. And by understanding one's own financial situation, choosing the right card, and managing credit responsibly, you can really leverage the benefit of a credit card and also avoid the common pitfalls. I'll just list the top 4 or 5 that come to my mind. Okay, the first one is that every person should evaluate his or her income, expenses, and what are the saving goals. Understanding your own financial situation can help you determine which type of card aligns with your needs and your lifestyle, right? The second piece is in terms of analyzing your spending patterns and priorities to select a card. Like say, for example, if you travel frequently, it makes sense to go ahead and take a travel card because it's got its own benefits. At the same time, if you spend a lot more on groceries and lifestyle, go for a cashback. It'll give you a cashback of, depending on your spends, from anywhere between 200 to 600 dirhams a month. That's something really nice.
That's huge.
Understanding the terms will prevent surprises, like in terms of when do you have to make a payment, what will the late payment entail, if you don't make a payment, what's the interest that will be levied. All these things will help you make an informed decision about how you want to use your card. And as I said, timely payments and responsible credit utilization, and at the same time avoiding excessive debt are these key factors that contribute to your healthy credit score. What I would suggest is create a budget, keep track of your spends, your income, expenses, and at the same time utilize your rewards and benefits to make the maximum out of it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, you touched upon the topic of the credit score, and we're here in the UAE. मतलब हर एक के पास में just like phones, you have multiple credit cards. Sometimes even more than three, four, five. So a lot of people believe that applying for multiple credit cards, it can actually hurt the credit score. Would you agree, or would you say it is otherwise? What's your take on that?
So a very nice question, I must say. See, because everybody that I know of, and as a banker, I've been at various banks looking at the credit card business, and an average person in the UAE holds anywhere between 3 to 4 credit cards, and it's normal to have multiple credit cards because every time uh, a customer, you'll have something for your daily spend, something for travel related stuff, and access to airport lounges or valleys and things like that. So these are these common features which really push people towards having multiple cards, one for each purpose. Okay, now what people need, your fans and listeners need to be aware of is the customers need to be aware that each time you apply for a credit card, the bank will do a hard pull on your credit bureau. So it's like pulling your credit report to understand what's your credit score and what are your liabilities. Now, a hard inquiry is like a formal credit check. It can lower your credit score by a few points, okay, but a single hard inquiry will have minimal effect. But if you start applying left, right, and center for multiple cards with multiple banks in a very short time frame, it can have a significant impact. Because the way banks look at it is that if there are multiple credit card applications, it could be a sign of financial distress or increased credit risk. And if they observe this kind of behavior, they'll be hesitant to approve any new credit cards or offer favorable terms.
Interesting. Okay, so when we are talking about, we're still on the credit scores and the credit rating. So, what are the benefits of diversifying your credit portfolio, and उसको positively impact कैसे कर सकते हैं on the credit rating?
So, diversing your credit card portfolio can really provide significant benefits,
Hmm.
like from improving your credit score to enhancing your financial flexibility, and it can help build a strong credit profile that opens up a lot better options in terms of financial opportunities. Now, as I said earlier, lenders or banks view borrowers with a mixed credit type, like somebody who holds a credit card, mortgage, auto loan, etc., as a lower risk, as it demonstrates the ability to manage different kinds of debt. Now, the UAE Central Bank mandates that 5% of your approved credit card limit is considered while calculating a customer's debt profile. Now, lower what the thumb rule is that use only 30% of your credit limit, and that really has a significant impact on your credit score because it shows that you're not overspending on your credit card. Right now, a diversified credit portfolio can enhance your credit worthiness, making it easier for you to qualify for loans, credit cards, and that too with better terms, lower interest rates, and higher credit limits. If you keep your credit utilization in check. Now, managing different types of credit cards over time can help you build a more comprehensive credit history. It demonstrates your ability to handle different financial obligations responsibly. And at the same time, please ensure to make timely payments and keep your debt levels manageable. And then using multiple types of credit cards like travel, cashback, or rewards,
Hmm.
you can maximize the benefits and the rewards that you earn, helping you save money and get more value from your credit card spending.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that one line that you said in the middle, ke, make sure that you make the payments timely. I remember one of my father's
Hmm.
friend. He used to swipe the credit card, and 2 दिन के बाद में जाके he used to pay off the complete payment, just so that he does not get any of the late fees, yeah, interest.
No, no, you.
but he was earning the points.
Yeah, I know a few people who do that.
Okay, so somebody was saying that you should never close a credit card as it brings your credit score down. Is that true? And what do you think about that?
Okay, a very nice question, Sid, and an uncommon one because people just keep taking new credit cards and closing credit cards is what I always see. Okay, so let me answer this a bit differently. Uh, it all depends from person to person and profile to profile. So when I say this, it's because it depends on various factors like credit card utilization, the length of credit card usage, and the payment history. Just for the audience, let me simplify this by giving certain examples. Let's say for credit utilization, when you close a credit card, your total available credit limit decreases, right? So just imagine you have got two cards, both with 50,000 limit. So your overall credit limit is 100K, out of which on the first card, which has got a 50,000 limit, let's say you spend 40K, 40,000. So when you spend 40,000 on an overall credit limit of 100K, you're using 40% of your credit. So your credit utilization is 40%. The moment you close the second card, which has got a 50,000 limit, your credit limit actually comes down to 50%, 50K, 50,000. On that, 40 on 50 is going to be 80% of your credit utilization. Now, when you have such a high credit utilization number, it suggests a higher risk to the banks. So that's where it's recommended that, you know, look at what's your standing, what's the credit utilization that you've got, and accordingly, then take a call on whether you want to close a particular card or not. Okay, the thumb rule is that your credit utilization should be around 30% of your credit limit. Now, I'll come to the second point. It also depends on the length of credit. Yeah, the total limit. So the second is about the time that you've been using a credit card. So let's say closing an older credit card can actually reduce the average age of your credit accounts. So imagine you had an old credit card which you have been using for the last 8, 10 years. And if you close it, then the average age of your remaining accounts might be significantly lower because you might have taken those cards more recently or they are relatively new. The third piece is about when you have a perfect payment history, a very good payment history on one of the cards, and if you decide to close that, then you lose the chance to continue adding on to that positive record. So what I would suggest is people, if they want to close a credit card, they should actually review these three parameters.
Interesting. Okay, but do you also feel that credit cards are only for big spenders, or are there any benefits of using the credit cards for everyday expenses? Even if you're going on a Kareem ride, so you're paying by a credit card, or you're having just a shawarma and you're paying by a credit card, 2 dirham, 3 dirham, uske liye also.
By using your credit card for daily expenses, you can actually accumulate a lot of cashback, points, or miles. And that's faster because every dirham that you spend, you tend to accumulate small, small points. Those brownie points actually total up to a lot if you look at your monthly spends. And regular use of your credit card and timely payments will help you build a positive credit score as well. Now, what is really nice is that credit card statements provide detailed records of your spending. So it's easier to track expenses and manage your budget as well. Now, the one piece that people always forget about a credit card is credit cards can also be used as a safety net in emergencies. Because when you need access to funds quickly, customers can avail up to 80% of their credit card limit as a credit card loan, which will get deposited into their account as cash in a span of maybe 1 to 2 days. Some banks do it instantaneously then and there. You could just call up the call center, they'll process it for you at a marginal fee of 1% or 2%. Some banks offer 0% loans for 6 to 12 months. You can utilize that, but this is only meant for in case of emergencies when you really require access to cash.
True. Okay, so we touched upon the topic of budget and doing budgeting. So the next question is kind of related to that. We're going to turn the credit card scenario on its head. Can credit cards actually be used as tools to monitor spending? And agar credit cards, can they be used for budgeting? Is there a possibility there?
Okay. So let me give you a personal example. Me, myself, I've got credit cards and I use it, and I've given one to my wife as well to make sure that I have a complete view of what I'm spending on. So credit cards can be effectively tool for monitoring your spending due to the detailed transaction records and the spend analysis tools that are offered by certain banks. You can also look at integrating the spend data with expense tracking apps that you can find on on the internet, which help you categorize your spend by merchant. If you look at a credit card statement, credit card banks usually provide detailed monthly statements that list all your transactions, including the date, amount, and at what merchant you have swiped the card. Okay, the apps help you view your transactions in real time for whatever has been billed or unbilled to your credit card, and it also tells about credits and debits that happen, because nowadays people do a lot of online spend, right? And then they get refunds. So rather than you keeping track of it, you could just log into your app and see if you got the refund from a Noon, a Talabat, or an Amazon for that matter. Whether it's a debit or a credit, you are able to see both. The second good part is that banks send notifications via SMS or email or in-app notifications for every purchase that you make on the card. Sometimes it so happens that you have subscribed for something like a Netflix or a LinkedIn profile or some other service, and all of a sudden you would see that you get a pop-up message on your phone saying that your card has been spent for 100 dirhams, and then you realize, oh, where did I spend this? And then you realize that, yeah, I've subscribed for somebody to clean my house. Yeah. So while you have the flexibility of making spends, you keep earning points on that. At the same time, for every purchase that happen, you get to know instantaneously that where it's been spent, right? So monthly statements can be useful for budgeting and financial planning as well. Now, as I said, my personal example, I have issued supplementary cards for family members. Now, it helps consolidate all the spends in one go, and I know that I need to make one payment. And all the rewards for all the spends that my wife or my family does, they all come under one roof. So I get more number of miles, I get more number of reward points, and more amount of
Right.
cash back.
Very interesting. In fact, a very insightful segment indeed. Thank you so much, Sachin. And Ab, it's time to move on to our next segment. It's called Ask Away. Now, here we take up FAQs by our customers and we respond to them with the help of our experts. So, if you also are an inquisitive and a curious learner like myself, and you've got questions about finance, about insurance, then don't hesitate. Just ask away. Slide into our DMs on Instagram, follow us on Policybazaar UAE, or reach out to us via any of the other social media handles, and we'll try our best to answer all of your questions, all of your queries in the next episode. Today, however, we shall be taking up questions related to myths around credit cards. So, Sachin, ready with your answers to our askways?
Yes, fire away.
Arey, wow, very nice. Okay, so the first question is coming in. Abdullah say he wants to ask: are credit cards really interest free, as some banks and some people claim?
Okay, so all credit cards have an annual percentage rate, APR as it's called. It's basically an interest rate a customer pays if the credit card balance is not paid in full by the payment date. So in layman terms, whatever you spend, if you pay it by the payment due date in full, you don't incur any interest. But this doesn't apply for cash withdrawals. If you do any cash withdrawals using your credit card, then interest is levied from day one on the credit card. And APRs, the annual percentage rate, will vary for credit card, vary from credit card to credit card because different banks have different products. Now, you have banks which also have a low rate card, especially for people who can't make a full payment. What comes to my mind is couple of them like Fab, First Abu Dhabi Bank, and Dubai First have got low rate cards, which are very unique in the market. And this is basically for customers who make a minimum payment of 5% of your outstanding balance. But then when they make a 5% payment on the outstanding balance, the minimum payment, then the interest that is charged on the low rate cards is lower than some of the other cards.
I see. Okay. Fatima has the next question. She wants to ask, do credit card companies charge hidden fees that are not disclosed upfront?
Oh, very nice question, Fatma. Uh, Now, all banks, and thanks to the regulator, the UAE central bank, all banks are mandated to have a credit card's key fact statement on their website. That mentions the terms and conditions and the fees associated with the credit card. So the all banks are really transparent in terms of what they're going to charge. So it's always there on the website. There's nothing hidden as such. It's very transparent that way. Credit card agreements are usually they have a lot of terms and conditions, and it's very crucial to read the fine print before committing to a card. People need to pay attention to interest rates, annual fees, what are the reward programs, and other relevant information that's shared. Understanding the terms will prevent negative surprises. But at the same time, if you read the terms well and you understand the product, it can help you make informed decisions, and it can actually benefit you a lot.
Right. Okay. Fatima, we hope you got your answer. The next one is coming in from Sunita. Now, she wants to ask, can using a credit card lead to identity theft or fraud?
Oh yeah, that's something which is everybody's spooked about these days. Identity theft and fraud. There's a lot happening going around, and you always read in the newspaper something or the other happening in some part of the world. Okay, so while credit card fraud and identity theft are really serious, thanks for bringing up this question, Sunita. Taking proactive steps to protect your personal information and card information and monitoring your accounts can significantly reduce the chances of falling victim to these crimes. Okay, by staying vigilant and utilizing the credit card, the security features provided on the card, you can actually safeguard your financial information. Now, what can we do as consumers to protect ourselves against any credit card fraud? So, just a few pointers. One, never share your personal or credit card information over the phone, email, or WhatsApp. I see people sending credit card images front and back over WhatsApp. It's a complete no-no. Please don't do that. Then you are responsible for whatever you have sent out, right? You don't know how the other person is going to share it and with whom. Always use strong and unique passwords, for online banking and credit card accounts. Uh, Usually, banks offer two-factor authentication. Like after you put in the password, they'll send you an OTP for certain transactions which they feel are suspect or even otherwise. So always use that and use good passwords. Don't use ABCD123. Yeah, something which anybody on or your birth date, which is very common. Anybody on Facebook would get to know your birthday and then use that. So please keep strong passwords. Okay, it's good to keep one in ourselves, informed about what's common in terms of how phishing and scams work, so that you don't fall prey to that. Always use secure websites, and also avoid public Wi-Fi. Whenever you land up at airports, you see a lot of public Wi-Fi. You go out in the malls, you'll see a lot of public Wi-Fi. Avoid using that because you don't know which ones are the really true, genuine ones. You could have somebody just going ahead and putting up Wi-Fi just to capture your information. Okay, keep your credit card secure and report any lost or stolen credit cards if you feel there's any suspected transaction or a fraudulent transaction. Inform the bank immediately, and most bank apps today provide you the facility to go ahead and freeze or block your card. Let's say, for example, if you're traveling and you don't intend to use the card, just block the card temporarily, and then you can come back on the app. It gives you the card control to actually unblock the card and then use that again. And if God forbid, if there's a suspected fraud transaction on your card, you can always reach out to the bank and the bank will issue a new one for you. And if you suspect an identity theft, please place a fraud alert on your credit report, contact the ECB, inform them that something like this has happened, and then take due action.
Mm. Right, right, right. So basically, you also need to be vigilant about how you are putting your card out on the internet, whether it's through apps or WhatsApps or anything else.
Sid, just a number that I would want to share with the crowd is 80% of thefts or
Hmm.
frauds happen where customers themselves leak out that information unknowingly, and it's only 20% which is really kind of constructed and it's kind of organized.
Wow.
So if we take the right steps, we can avoid all these from happening.
Right. And with that question, it's the end of Ask Away. But don't go just yet, because if you also have any questions about finance, about insurance, then simply ask away. You can DM us on Instagram, you can follow Policybazaar UAE, or reach out to us via any of the other social media channels as well. And we'll try our best to answer your queries in our next episode. For now, though, I hope we've debunked some of your credit card myths. We shall meet again in the next episode with more informative, more insightful content along with our lovely experts. So, thank you so much, Sachin, for an amazing and a delightful conversation. As always, pleasure having you on the Policy Project.
Nice to be on your show. Thanks. Sid.
Thank you so very much, and all the very best along with our lovely listeners. That's it for today. See you in the next one. Till then, take care and stay tuned.
You were listening to Policybazaar.ae's The Policy Project. We've got you covered.